Hello, everybody. How you guys doing? I hope you're doing okay. I'm here to read stories to you, like the wonderful narrator I am. This is from Reddit user Repulsive Intern 1. That's a very interesting name. Was I too paranoid? That's the name of the story, though. I suffer from paranoia, so I'm unsure if I was too rash in this situation. This took place 2 years ago during my summer break. I was looking for something to occupy my time and found a card shop that was around 15 minutes drive. They played multiple card games throughout the week and had a D&D session on the weekends. I decided to take up Magic the Gathering and attended Thursdays to play EDH, a multiplayer format. I don't know what that is, but it sounds interesting. It was fun and didn't have to deal with any of the fabled neckbeards. After I played around a few months, I started to get to know the regulars and was comfortable chatting with them about other things. Some had other card games that they enjoyed, and a few were sports fans. There was someone who liked to talk to me a lot more than the rest. Let's call him Dave. He's older than me, maybe in his late 20s, early 30s. Around the time I had to start school again and wouldn't be able to attend weekly anymore. Dave wanted to meet up on weekends. I thought it was okay, and I agreed. There's another shop further away, maybe 20 minutes further than the one I was going to. I exchanged numbers with him to set up meetings. Some of the regulars attended as well, usually being able to have 2 to 5 games. It would take anywhere between 30 to 45 minutes per game. I didn't think much of it, I just really enjoyed playing MTG. For the first few weeks of this arrangement, nothing much occurred. Roughly around the beginning of December, he wanted to invite me over to his house to play Magic the Gathering. While I'm usually not one to go over to other people's homes, I decided to give it a try. He did mention inviting other people as well. When I got to his house, I was surprised to see that the other people he had invited were couples. There were 3 other couples, and I felt a bit out of place on my own. I greeted each of them, though I was admittedly distracted. I was not good at remembering names, especially in a situation like this. I also got to meet Dave's girlfriend. They're living together, and she's into playing Magic the Gathering as well. The groups were divided into groups of 4 and one of 5. I was at a disadvantage in every game played. Couples would work together, leaving me on my own. This was an elimination multiplayer format, meaning I'd be eliminated early in the game. I just tried to make the best of it, drank a bit of light beer as I watched the rest play until the next game started. Everything was okay until Dave made a comment that I found kinda odd. While I was talking with him and his girlfriend, he said that I was his best friend. I don't think we even knew each other for him to think of us as best friends. I didn't mention that it made me feel awkward at the time. Not sure if there was a way to go about it in front of Dave's girlfriend and the other guests. So I tried to ignore it and enjoy the rest of the games. After I went home, Dave texted that he wanted to meet up the following week. I'm not sure why, but I agreed to meet again at his place. The next time I went over to his house, there's only one other couple this time. It was somewhat relieving. It started off well, and I introduced myself to the new couple. They're both from up north and were really friendly. Dave served alcohol, mostly rum and vodka. I was planning on driving later, so I abstained from drinking this time. There's a short break during the games to go get something to eat. I was talking with Dave and his girlfriend. I'm not really sure how this came up, but they wanted me to move in with them. At first I thought they were joking, but I quickly realized that they weren't. They had set aside a room so that I could move in. At the time, I really had no idea how to respond. They genuinely thought that I would move in with them. I tried to respond that I couldn't pay any rent since I'm still attending college and had to pay for classes and books. I tried to reject them in the nicest way I could think of, but they said that they could wait a few more months to move in. They even offered to let me live with them rent-free. They must have thought that this would convince me, but it made it more obvious that I should say no. Before I could get the courage to tell them I really didn't want to move in with them, the other couple came back with food. They dropped the subject, everyone ate. Shortly after, we resumed playing till about 10. I left before the other guests could leave, and Dave tried to get me to meet up again next week. I didn't want to respond. I just said that I'd let him know if I was available. I was not planning on going back anytime soon. I didn't have to make an excuse to not go the following week. A few friends were going to throw a party and had invited me. I texted Dave that I wouldn't be able to make it the following week, and he tried to get me to ask my friends to change their plans. He wanted to invite them as well, but I had to mention that I couldn't just ask them to do that. They also really didn't play Magic the Gatherings, and I wouldn't feel safe in the house of someone they really didn't know that personally. He seemed to understand, but said that he wanted to do something for Christmas. There is no way I would entertain the idea of spending Christmas with him. I was blunt and said that I really wasn't going to do that. I wasn't going to spend Christmas with him and his girlfriend. I didn't get the response I was expecting. He tried to convince me to change my mind. He mentioned the kinds of food they'd be serving and the wines they had bought. I stopped reading the messages after a while. I don't think he would stop trying to get me to spend Christmas with him. I guess it was rather rude to ghost him, but I didn't really think there was another choice. I even got a new phone. It was time to upgrade, and took the opportunity to change my number. Around this time, I started to lose interest in Magic the Gathering and stopped going to either card shop to play. Dave didn't have any other way to communicate with me, and I haven't heard from him since. I do sometimes think that I just misunderstood the situation and was unable to adequately communicate with Dave. Maybe I did mistake his intentions of wanting to be friends with something more sinister or obsessive. Okay, personally, that is weird. You don't really know this guy, and out of nowhere, he's suddenly your best friend and wants you to move in with him. I gotta be honest, that's pretty strange. That would make me uncomfortable, definitely. I don't know where he got that idea. That's kind of freaky, though. I don't think you were being too paranoid. I think you were right. From what you said, it doesn't sound very sinister, but it does sound kind of unsettling and very off-putting. I would not be okay with that either. That's pretty fucking weird. So, no, I would say that there's like a better way to kind of like let him down, but at the same time, it seems like you did exactly that, and it didn't work. So it seems like you really did the only thing you had a choice to do. That is pretty fucking weird, man. I don't know. That's pretty strange. I can't say I've ever heard anything like that. But it does sound like that guy was just a tad bit fucking obsessed with you. And I think changing your number and doing what you had to do in order to get out of that situation was probably the best decision. So I hope you're alright, and I hope everything's okay. And I hope you don't hear from this guy again, because that sounds a little fucking weird. But thank you all for watching. If you have your own story that you'd like to send in, you can do that by going to r/Moonhorse Stories and sending it there. If you'd like to support this channel, you can do that by going to the merch store, or I have a Patreon. And above all things, I love you all so very much. Take care of yourself out there, kids. The world's a fucking weird place.
Okay, I love you. Goodbye.